Hello everyone, welcome again to our academy. We are continuing our course How to Think Logically, and we will talk about axioms. We are now talking about the matter of evidence. The first type of the matter of evidence is certainties or certain truths. We already know that syllogism is a form of evidence in which we move from a general premise to a special conclusion, which is true and certain, provided that the premises are true and certain, or they are certain truths. Certain truths include sensory judgments, experimental judgments, documentary judgments, and axiomatical judgments, or axioms. You may ask yourself, am I present? Am I present? Of course I am. This is very clear. This is axiomatic. So axiomatic data are very clear data. Axiomatic concepts are concepts which are very clear to understand. They require no definition, like the concept of existence and the concept of something. These concepts are very clear. They need no definition. Axiomatic judgments are judgments like I am present, 1 plus 1 equals 2, and so on. They are very clear. They are self-evident. They require no evidence. So, the cognition of mind or mental cognition is divided into understanding and judgment. Both of them may be axiomatic or acquired by thinking. Axiomatic understanding includes clear concepts that require no definition, like the concept of existence or the concept of a thing. Some other concepts are acquired by thinking. They need definitions. The same applies to judgment. There are axiomatic judgments which require no evidence, and judgments which are acquired by thinking. They need evidence. Axiomatic judgments include affective judgments, like I am present. These judgments are carried out by our minds by the aid of internal feeling. Sensory judgments. Sensory judgments are also axiomatic. They require no evidence. They are judgments by our mind by the aid of sensation. Another example is mental primes. Mental primes are very, very clear judgments. It's enough to understand these propositions to judge them without the aid of anything but our minds. Another type is practical axioms. The last type is innate syllogism. We are going to talk about the last three types in this video. The first one is mental primes. Mental primes are very clear judgments. It's enough to understand the proposition to judge it without the aid of any other thing but our minds. For example, a thing can't be present and not present in the same time, place, and from the same aspect. A cat can't be alive and not alive in the same time, place, and from the same aspect. A proposition can't be right and wrong in the same time, place, and from the same aspect. This is impossible. This is the law of contradiction. The law of contradiction means that it's impossible for something to be present and not present in the same place, time, and from the same aspect. It's also impossible for a piece of information to be right and wrong in the same place, time, and from the same aspect. It's a very clear law, which cannot be denied. Three parts are greater than one of them. A whole apple is greater than a piece of it. The whole is always greater than its part. If you put a glass of water in a room, then you find the glass empty. There must be a cause for this change or for this event. Someone may have drunk it. It may have been evaporated, but there must be a cause. There must be a cause for falling objects. This is the law of causality. For every event or for every change, there must be a cause. This law doesn't say that for everything there must be a cause. No. It says that for every change or for every event there must be a cause. The hot fire produces heat. The cold ice lowers the temperature around it. There must be a relevance between the result and its cause. For a certain thing, it can't be the cause of itself, because this means that it was present before its presence, so it can't be able to produce itself. Present before its presence is impossible. It means that it's present and not present in the same time, place and aspect. If you go to the first employee and ask him for a signature, he tells you you must have the second employee's signature first. When you go to the second one, he tells you you must have the first employee's signature first, and so on. You will never have this signature. This is called the law of looping. It's impossible for something to be its own cause. The last piece falls down because the one before it falls down, and this is due to falling of the previous one, and so on. But there must be a first cause that made the first piece fall down. Without this cause, the first one will never fall down, the second one will never fall down, the third one will never fall down, and so on. So the final result will never exist. If you go to the first employee to have his signature, he tells you go to the second one. The second one tells you to go to the third one, and so on. You will never have a signature. This is called the law of infinite chain. It's impossible to have an infinite chain of causes. There must be a first cause which starts this chain. If you judge a doctor that he knows medicine, or if you judge a human being that he has a body, or he is a rational animal, these judgments are very clear. They require no evidence. It's enough to understand what a doctor is or what a human being is to reach these judgments. So, judging something by its essentials is also a clear judgment. It requires only understanding of this thing by its essentials. After this, the judgment is clear. All of the previous laws were examples of mental primes. The second type of axioms we are going to talk about today is practical axioms. For example, justice is good, injustice is bad. These are practical axioms. Why are these axioms clear? Justice is to give everyone what he or what his, her, or its rights. The rights of something is what makes him better. Good means that it makes something better. So, these axioms says that giving everyone what makes him, her, or it better makes him, her, or it better. So it's very clear. So practical axioms are based on definitions by the essentials of justice, good, injustice, and bad. Is 2 the double of 1? Of course it is. This is axiomatic. This is very clear. In fact, here we use a syllogism, which says that 2 is a number that is divided into a number and its equivalent. The meant number is 1. Every number that is divided into a number and its equivalent is the double of this number. So 2 is the double of this number, 1. So this judgment is very clear. However, it's based on a syllogism. But this syllogism is very clear and very obvious to our minds. So these types of axioms are called innate syllogisms. They include judgments like 1 plus 1 equals 2, 1 doesn't equal 0, and so on. So we have different types of certainties or certain truths, like axioms, sensory judgments, experimental judgments, and documentary judgments. Axioms include judgments like affective and sensory judgments, mental primes, which are also called the laws of the mind. For example, the law of contradiction, the law of the whole, the law of causality, the law of relevance, the law of looping, the law of infinite chain of causes, the law of essentials. Other types of axioms include practical axioms like justice is good and injustice is bad. The last type we studied today, innate syllogisms. Thank you.